Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to take you on a journey, a virtual road trip through a part of the country many people just call flyover country. You know, the place the flat states. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, usually with a bit of a dismissive tone. It implies emptiness, a lack of features, a place where nothing happens. But I've been thinking about that word flat and what it really means. Is it just a description of the landscape, or does it say more about how we see the history of these places? So, picture this. You're driving. The road stretches out in front of you, a straight grey ribbon cutting through a sea of gold and green. Out here, the land feels like it forgets to end. You can drive for an hour, maybe more, and the scenery barely changes. The same distant grain elevator that was on your horizon 60 minutes ago is still there, stubbornly marking a point in the vastness. It's a landscape of immense scale, one that can make you feel incredibly small. The sky is enormous, a huge, overwhelming dome of blue. People who just pass through often say it's miles and miles of nothing. But when I hear that, I always wonder, miles of nothing where something once was. This is where the term flat starts to feel a little heavier. When we call this land empty, what are we really saying? It's empty of. Are we talking about a lack of mountains and skyscrapers, or a lack of the history we're willing to see? Because this land isn't empty at all. It's layered. It's dense with stories. Think about the maps we use today. We see state lines, county lines, property lines. We see a grid, a neat and tidy organization of space. But these are just the most recent lines drawn on the map. Underneath them are other lines, older lines, territory lines drawn over territory lines. Someone was here first, long before the pioneers, before the treaties, before the states were even imagined. You can't just pave over that history. It doesn't just disappear because you build a highway on top of it. It's a truth that's embedded in the soil itself. You'll be driving along and you might see a roadside historical marker. Maybe it says something like, Settlement Established, 1873. It tells one story, a story of arrival and building. But it often leaves out what happened in 1800 or 1700 or the thousands of years before that. The sign tells a convenient truth, but the ground remembers what the sign won't say. The land itself holds a fuller, more complex memory. So when people say this land is settled, I have to ask, settled for who? The word implies a resolution, an end to a conflict. But for many, it wasn't a settlement. It was a displacement. It was the imposition of a new order on an old one. And again, you can't just pave over that. The memory persists. This history is not a ghost story, it's a living presence. It's in the names of our rivers and cities, often borrowed or adapted from indigenous languages. It's in the very shape of the land, which was managed and understood in profoundly different ways for millennia. If you ever find yourself out here, try this. Pull over, turn off the engine and just listen. The wind that sweeps across the plains has a unique voice. It's not an empty sound. If you listen closely, it almost sounds like it's trying to tell you something. It whispers stories the history books often leave out. Look at the horizon. It isn't empty. It's full of what was erased, full of the echoes of lives and cultures that were systematically pushed to the margins. The flatness isn't an absence of features. It's a canvas on which a dominant story was painted, covering up the masterpiece that was already there. And yet, that original masterpiece is never truly gone. The lines of old territories are still there, underneath the grid. The people who were here first are still here. Their cultures are alive. Their languages are being revitalized, and their stories are being told. So the next time you're on that long, straight road and you're looking out at that seemingly endless expanse, remember that you aren't looking at nothing. You are looking at a place of deep, resilient, and enduring history. Still driving, still flat, still here. The land remembers, and so should we. Thanks for joining me on this thought journey today. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. It's a conversation worth having. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time.